Okay, beyond. Well, ultimately about Bikarsim, so they say they kind of to mention the trade of night, needed slide of beyond the trade of night in the day. Ultimately about Bikarsim, take up from the heart of the Bikarsim. Sha'omim Shemisha Bar or Lo Bar Choshek, to say that the person who the thing or whatever which created light didn't create night. Base. And it's really no Hashem created both. Im Tav Amar Hashem B'Dvar Ma'ariv, he made a mistake and it's just and finished the Hashem B'Dvar Ma'ariv. And this Miyad remembers immediately Amar Yotzor and then switched to quickly on Yotzor. V'gam Siyam Yotzor Ma'aretz, and also concludes Yotzor Mar, so he finished, changes it, and then finishes the right way. Yotze B'Yotzor B'Dirabit. Avolim Amar B'Dvaro B'Ma'ariv Haravim. But if he says in his words, Amar Vavim, V'lo Namar Yotzor, or I never said Yotzor, also Siyam Yotzor Mars, or he didn't, even if he did mention Yotzor, he didn't conclude Yotzor Maros, Lo Yotzor, he wouldn't be Yotzor in those cases. V'imam Yotzor, if he did see Yotzor, Mevar Choshek, he said that, Asher B'Dvar Ma'ariv, but he changed it to this, and he added, with his words, Ma'ariv Aravim, he changed, it goes, he westens the western stuff. Okay. The Gamsai Ma'ariv and also conclude Ma'ariv Lo Yotze, then again he wouldn't be Yotze. Okay. Huadin Imlo Amar Techila, similarly if he didn't start originally Rak Yotze, or he didn't say he only started Yotze. Okay. Imosi Ma'ariv Lo Yotze. If he didn't conclude Ma'ariv, if he concluded Ma'ariv Lo Yotze wouldn't be Yotze yet. We said that earlier. It's kind of a repeat. Dibri Atzman the Farish came the Torah, it's the word to himself to explain this, the words of the Torah and the Rush. Avolim Siyam Yotzor Amaros, but if he does conclude Yotzor Amaros, Kivin Shapatzuk Yotzor, since he started with Yotzor Afal Pi Shapipsig Ma'ariv Ravim. Then he'd be Yotzor even though he said Yotzor Ma'ariv Ravim, and then Yotzor at the end, it'll be fine. He'd be Yotzor even though he made a split with Ma'ariv Ravim. Miyad, immediately. You have to see the Mishnah. Dafka Miyad is only immediately. Whoa, no. I need to for this. Only immediately the Haina Betocha Dibur, which is within the Kedei Dibur, within the Shalom Aleichem Rabbi Yomori stuff. Abel After Kedei Dibur, afterwards Kedei Dibur, Lo Yotze, he wouldn't be Yotze. The Lukay HaBracha, Shapasuk Bracha Hashem L'Kenim Al-Chalam, because it doesn't go the Bracha which said, Bracha Hashem, L'Kenim Al-Chalam, Amar Shachaz Rama Yotzor, it doesn't go back on what he's saying, back and saying Yotzor. Kimich Lo Amar Miyat, since he didn't say it immediately. Mashikas of Achakach, which says afterwards, Lo Amar Yotzor, he didn't say afterwards, Lo Amar Yotzor, he didn't say Yotzor. Who was in Im Amru, Lo Miyat. Same thing would be if he said it, but didn't say it right away. King Gas of Prima Garden, this is what the Prima Garden says. Okay. B'Shem Abarach, name the Bracha Pisha. Have the Derech Chaim, but the Derech Chaim poses that Filim Nodnis Karad, the carve of the sofa Bracha, even if he doesn't remember until he's close to the very end of the Bracha. Mikomakum Kimin Shul Gamra also, since he doesn't conclude it, Ein Tzorach Lahaskel Mirosha Birchas Yotzor. He doesn't have to start from the beginning of Yotzor, Mechadash. Rak Yomar Yotzor Bar Choshek, just start saying Bar Yotzor Bar Choshek. Atzov V'chul and the rest of it. Atzov Kol Mitzvot Birchas Yotzor Hamaros until the end of Birchas Hamaros. Avios Hamaros. Yosef is any Yosef this. V'chein Yesh Lin Hod L'Maisa. That's how you should be knowing. That should be the custom L'Maisa. Kamosha Kasavim Beralachas. We explain the Beralacha. Okay. Lo Amar, he didn't say Yotzor. He didn't say Yotzor. Pirish Afal Bisha Siyam Baruch Hashem Yotzor. Maros. Even though he conclude Yotzoros, Kimin Shetzilas of him since the beginning and middle, L'Shalok and then Lo Yot were not properly. Then Lo Yotz is not Yotz. The Torah Chaz the Rosh. You have to go to the whole beginning. Baruch Hashem L'Kenim Al-Chalam. You have to start from Baruch Hashem L'Kenim Al-Chalam Keseder, like in order, add Achma Yotzor Mos until the end of Yotzor Mos. I'm Beralacha. Look at the Beralacha. V'hu Adin. If he just said originally Yotzor, Kuliyam Masovin came, everyone hold this way that if we just say Yotzor, If you conclude, you have to conclude right. It doesn't matter what anything else. If you don't conclude right, you're no good, as you said earlier. Kimavor Beis Yosef is clearly Beis Yosef. That the conclusion for sure has to be proper. Mad Nagad and Shulchan Aruch listed them. The Shulchan Aruch picked Mitchila. Lo Siyam Yotzei Moros, where he doesn't conclude Yotzei Moros. Inkaman also Dafka Bofen Shatav Am Mitchila Shebet Var Ma'ariv. It doesn't mean in the case where you didn't conclude Yotzei Moros. In the case where you made a mistake and said originally Shebet Var Ma'ariv. Rak Nakdilis Yuma Mills of the ratio, rather just picked it to conclude the matter of the ratio. Okay? The Gamma the Naka Vim Amar Yotzar Bar Choshek, and also what he chose to say, and if he said Yotzar Bar Choshek, Hashem Bar Man Virabim, whom Yisham Diratza the sign of Sefer. This is because the reason why he said it, he said Yotzar, and then he said Mar Virabim, and then he concluded not Mar Virabim, so it seems like you would have to do two things wrong. No, that's because whom Yisham the Ratzah sign by Sefer. That's because he wants to include in the Sefer. Then see him Yotzer Maras Yotzer. Then if you do say Yotzer Maras, it is Yotzer. Afafisha Hipsik my Rav, even though you put my Rav in between. But if you conclude wrong, it doesn't matter anything else. Even if you didn't do this whole Yotzer or Choshek and then Shevgar. Rak Yotzer, only Yotzer. Appears the entire language of the bracha Levad. He said the whole thing. You're right. The Levad Shita because he must have just made a mistake at the conclusion. Now, for BK, you have to even still you in Biyotzi. The Halo Berach of the Chasima, Alor, he doesn't make a bracha in the conclusion on the light. Hamaskul Ha'ir Biyom Zeh, which he started to light, which starts to light in this day. Siyam Ma'ir Barabim, he concluded Ma'ir Barabim. Vim Tocha de Dibra Nizkar Ba'am Yotzar Maros, and if with Tocha de Dibra he remembered and said Yotzar Maros, then he'd be Yotzar. This one the Derech Chaim and the Prisha, the Lokabach, and not like the Baal Shemachman, B'cholin, which is Machman. In all cases, the Kamosh Kasav the Beralach is clear in the Beralach. So if he concluded my Ram, but he remembered Tocha de Dibra and changed it to Yotzar Maros, he'd be Yotzar. Aval Im Shah Archash Amar Ma'ir, but if he waited after saying Ma'ir Rabim, Kedei Dibra, he waited that Kedei Dibra. No Yotzi, he wouldn't be Yotzer. Afsham Yotzer Amoros, even though he said Yotzer Amoros, Lahacha Kedei Dibra, even he said it after Kedei Dibra. If he waited after he said Amar Varavim, Kedei Dibra, he wouldn't be Yotzer with that. Yeah. Afsham Yotzer Amoros, even if he said Yotzer Amoros, Lahacha Kedei Dibra after Kedei Dibra. Okay. The Yom Rama Pan with Brachos Yotzer Amoros Tchilas, and you have to start again from you say the second time Yotzer from the total beginning. Lo Yatsi would not be Yotze if you didn't conclude, right? He made a mistake and you didn't remember until you started Avarama. Don't stop in between. Could say there are brachos Avaraba. You should conclude like the order of brachos Avaraba. And then say Yotzor before saying Kriyashma. This one the Derech Chaim and look in Magen Ram, not like the Magen Ram and Sham look there. Yotzi, you'll be Yotzi with that. If he said Yotzor at the end and had Yotzor at the beginning and the middle is no good. Tam says that like the essence of this sif is the Shnei Devarim Yesh B'Bracha. There's two things in the Bracha. Yotzor, Bro Yotzor, the Shachos, Likuba, Shachos which are Ma'akid. Echa, the first thing which is Ma'akev is Besichus HaBaracha or Mtzois, either the beginning or the middle. Tzrichel Nios Kedin, they have to be right. You have to have either the beginning or the middle right. And then the base, the second thing is Kasimus HaBaracha, that this concluding of the Bracha has to be right, if they're both of those. But that, the Huadin, Vevirchas Ma'av, the same thing will be with Ma'av, the Arbus of Ma'av has to be right. You can't be saying Yotzor there. You could say it either the beginning or the middle, but you couldn't say it at the end, and you can't say it both beginning and middle. Kim vor brachas yud beis and beis. Amud alef. Ayin shal. As it's clear in vor brachas yud beis and alef, as it's clear. Shehivzik ma'av aravim, then you made a separation with ma'av aravim. Toka de dibur shal pesichas yotzor, within toka de dibur of within the total year of starting with Yotzor, you switch it to Ma'avim. V'amakol noso the Arabs in the van. When you said the whole language of Ma'av aside from the end. Afal pigin lo yomidin shnakar alidei zeh tevos rishonos. Even still, we don't say it came because it was uprooted because of this the first words. Shal Yotzor of Yotzor. Yeshom shak. Okay. Let's see the berura. Chavinizkar miyad and remember it immediately. I mentioned look at Mishnah Berurah. Then she calls the Pri Megadim, but then the Pri Megadim writes the Shem of the Brach of the priest and the name of the Brach of the priest. The time of the reason is, and the reason for this. Ube'emes, Devar Ben Mavanim, the truth, the words are not really understandable. The Ha Havi Yosef Mikdei Dibur, that's more than the Kidei Dibur. So this is. Okay. Okay, but after number the also the mitzvah from Tevus Yotzor or the Tevus Asher B'Dvaro, even if you want to say that we're combining the words Yotzor to the words of Asher B'Dvaro, I mean you're way after the time of your Kedei Dibur. You've almost finished Ma'av. Now you said Yotzor. Okay, how is this working? And even if you want to say that you're combining this with Yotzor to the Tevus Asher B'Dvaro, but have a kilo Amar Asher B'Dvaro Yotzor, and it's as if you said with his words he created light. Apple Pikein Devar Tzarachian, the Gadol, his words need a lot of dian. The Lo Shaykh Svarah, so it's not applicable, his logic, Kiyam Lefish Hasakadaita for the Gemara, except according to the Havamin of the Gemara. The Ratzalif showed that a boy that wants to answer the question, this is from the Gersh, the Rosh, from the Russian's explanation. If not that Kis Kasa, the shepherd, if he took a cup of beer, he held it in his hands, the Gesaber, the Chamer, when he thinks it's wine, and he started saying Baruch Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam B'rei Pri Hagafen, and he started saying Baruch Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam B'rei Pri Hagafen, and then he v'nizkar b'siyam v'shakol niyeh b'dvar, and then he remembered, oh wait, no, this is beer, and changed it to shakol niyeh b'dvar. Im Yosef if he's Yosef with this. Mi mitzarfin and teva shahakol. We combine the word shahakol niyeh b'dvar l'Hashem to the Hashem u'malchus, the Shem malchus shom v'tchil, which is said first. Mi b'rais shamar n'shomeres. The impulse of the Shachos b'Mariv Aravim from the Brisa, which says that if you start on Shachos and say Mariv Aravim beside Yotzor and then conclude Yotzor, wants to bring a rise to this. Hainu she'amar brachas Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam v'shevet dvarim ha'anav v'roavim Yotzor v'choshek ad sof brachas Yotzor Mars. That is that he said brachas Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam, and then he said v'shevet dvarim ha'aravim Yotzor v'choshek, and then continue until the end of the bracha of Yotzor Mars. The Yotzor is with this. He'd be Yotzi with us, and he's bringing a proof to that you could be Yotzi in this case, just like you could do that Yotzor thing, you could do Rei Pri Hagafen and Shakol Niyeh B'Dvar. Alman de Mitzvah Nam Yerasel Shama Yotzor. What do you see? We combined his saying, which he said Yotzor, La Shem Malchus to the Shem Malchus Shem Tzchila, which he said originally. We don't concern ourselves with what said in between Hashem Dvar Ma'av, with which is words he did Ma'av. Okay. Shehem Teva Shenim Li'inyanam, which are words which are not on the topic. We don't care about that. We combine it to the original. far as Sabach. There it's when it's applicable the logic of the Bach. The Braisa, Iri Dafka Tocha de Dibur, that the Braisa is talking specifically to de Dibur, Ilam Hachli, Bavad Ilam Minativ, that without this we wouldn't be for sure not say combined. Kumosha Pasuk Shulchan Aruch, the common for some Reish Tasif base, as the Shulchan Aruch says later on in some Reish Tasif base. Avalufima the Dalka Gemara, but according to what the Gemara pushes off, boy, the question, for some of the Baham alone meaning Tirif, in general we don't say Tirif. For some, even the Omer, Rabba Barula, and there, just because Rabba Barula said, has Kaminas Yom Balayla, Midas Layla B'Yom, in order to mention day and night and day, Kigomer Bracha Malchus Meikar Tarvayu Kamer, when he said originally the Bracha of and Malchus, originally he was saying on both of them, so he was never really intending to do. Rabbi Barula told us we want to say day and night and night and day, both in whether morning and night. Okay, so when he said the bracha originally, at Tarvayu Kamer, he's really saying it both day and night. Matzorach the Kedei Dibur, what do you need Kedei Dibur? Ve'en close to the Verenu, you can't push off our words. The Mekim de Memes Paskin and Aiboy Lakula, since we in truth we paskin the question to be made, or Kamosha Gotz of a Rif as a Rif says, Imkain, if so, as far as the Bryce is a Kapashta, Mitam Sirif, but the logic of the Bryce is like simply just because of combining. The Mekim de Lonif Shita Iboy, Azlin Lakula Benin de Rabbanan. That since the question wasn't answered, we go by being Mako in regards to the topic of Rabbanan, and really it is because of Tocha de Dibur. Yim Kain Mehifi Teisil on the half of Binyanenu. If so, how is for us? How we know to be machmir in our topic? Adrabah, Zil lead the please go the other way. Gam Beisio. Okay. Okay, so we're going to say, going back to the original vision of Tzir. The law made in two svaras Meikar, Tavayu Kamer. We're no longer saying the svara of, once you push off the boy, you go back to the pasha because of Tzir. We no longer say it's going on both of them. That's not really right. The top, and we're not pushing off the vision of Meikar, you said it on both of them. Originally we were trying to say both of them. No, that's where it's the truth. We're not going back to the Tzir one. The time of Shalarifu, the reason of the risk is, the Mekivan de Nifshita Ibai. Since the Ibai wasn't answered, it's leaving the Kula Bein in the Rabbanon, that we go with the Kula in regards to the Rabbanon. Then Kain, Mehefitasil on the half of Benyenu, how do we know to be machmir on our topic and say that the drop as far as many cards of Ayukoy? Just go both of them, that originally we're saying on both of them. Adrabah, go the other way, and they say that we're keeping the idea of many cards of Ayukoy, and there's nothing to do with Tocha de Dibur. Gam Beis Yosef also in Beis Yosef mash with Yosef afil lodnis come yad, and it's also mentioned if would Yosef even if you didn't mention remember immediately. Gam Mishlish on the Shulchan Aruch Shekatzav Achzach, and also in the language of the Shulchan Aruch which writes afterwards. Lomer Yosef and didn't say Yosef or lo mash with Kabach. It's not mash like the Bach. Do they have a lashmin and then according to the Bach he should have told us Yosef was a bigger kaddish. Afil Omer lo even if he said it lo miyab not immediately. The teretz a prima gun. The prima gun answers Bazeh with this who dochik. And the prima gun's answer this is dochik. And Mashanaka the Shulchan Aruch Benis Kam Yad, and this the Shulchan Aruch mentions picked and shed, and you remember immediately Hamas Yoradaka, the whom Yisham Orcha the most. So the truth shows the way that it's just because it's normal that way. Kamosha Katsu the Asma, as he himself says in the Beis Yosef. And Prat Yish Kamadeus Rishonim, especially because of many opinions of the Rishonim, that feel low Amr Klal Yotzor, even if he didn't say at all Yotzor, or Rakshasiyam Yotzor Ameros, he just concluded Yotzor Ameros, you'd be Yotzor. Moshe Kasam the Kamras we said later on. Al Kaponim, Vivadi Ishtasar Taitom, the Hakol. So at the very least, you for sure can combine their opinion to be make gola inyanim lo yomer yotzor miyad. If you didn't say yotzor immediately, and meaning they say you don't even have to say it at all. You could just conclude right and that would be fine. But for sure you can combine and say that you don't say it immediately, it's fine. Ukamosh kasavnim b'mishna berura, the mishna berura of cotton base, m'shem b'derech chaim, the name of the derech chaim. Okay. V'lo yotzor, he didn't say yotzor. I'm Mishnah Berurah, look at the Mishnah Berurah, but he calls up the Das the Shulchan Aruch. All this is going according to the Shulchan Aruch, V'chalim poskim Afronim, and all the other the later poskim. Levada Prichada, Sheish Lo Shita, Cheres Prichada, aside from the Prichada, which has a different opinion about all this. The Tavayu Be'inin Shiyukidin. You need two things which should be proper. Echad B'sichel Bracha of Imsois. The one thing is that you need the beginning or the middle of it. Beis Chosimas Bracha. The second thing is the concluding of the bracha. The Gaon the Yer Hesikal Psak Shulchan Aruch, and the Gaon's explanation asks on the Shulchan Aruch. The common rights many proofs who possibly Iker Kedas Rajba and Paskins for the right thing is like the opinion of the Rajba. Amu Yosef was brother Beis Yosef told the Rafik Asimus Bracha Levad and says it's just based on the conclusion of the bracha alone. Shem Chasim continues that if you conclude with properly you be Yosef. Begam Muhammad's or the Ramban, even according to the Muhammad's again for the Rambam, Mavor the Girsa also Kedas Rajba is clear according to his Girsa, according to the opinion of the Rajba. The MCM Yotzar Mers that if you conclude Yotzar Mers, Absol Amr B'Tila, Rak Ma'ariv Rabim, even if you started originally the whole thing of Ma'ariv Rabim, Afal Pika and Yotzar still be Yotzar because you concluded right, the whole thing is the conclusion. MCM Ma'ariv Rabim, if you concluded Ma'ariv Rabim, I am Mishnah Berurah, look at the Mishnah Mers of Kat and Vav. The Dasa Bach below Yoel after Misayim take a field so Hamaoros it says it doesn't help even if you conclude immediately Yotzar Hamaoros. Hula Pella and that's a Pella. The Logar didn't there Mimi Sha'ochlis Kol Shel Sheikh, this then is no worse than if someone would be grabbing a cup of beer. The other in his hands, V'saber Chuyayin, and thought it was wine. V'verach bar Priyagafen, and said made the bracha of Priyagafen. But Tolcha de Dibur, and then Tolcha de Dibur, Nizkar, Messiam, he remembered and concluded Shakol Niyamadvar and Shakol Niyamavaro. The Mavor, the comment that is clear later on, the Siman Reish Test, and some Reish Test of Beis V'yotzi, that you'll be Yotzi in that case. Afshari, okay, so we see that you could use Kedei Dibur to switch what you said, even if you didn't have any intent originally. But after I've seen some Achronim which push off a little bit this raya. So when you hear in the bar, I don't think their words are right. Similarly, clear that straight out in the Talmidim of Ben Yonah. The brachos sham besof inyan and the brachos there in the end of the topic. Yotze v'lo chashinu la'apsako shel Ma'ariv Rabim that Yotze we're not concerned with this break of Ma'ariv Rabim and sham look there. Okay. Yeshomim she'akadusha she'v'yotzer those that say that the kedusha, which is in Yotzer, the college, and the Roshang the Rochuvod Malchusol, no. Rochuvod Hashem Yikomo. Yachad Omer that a single person could say. The future animal is the environment only see, but the environment is telling over things. It's saying what the malachim would say. The Yisham Yachad Medalga, and some say the single person should skip it, and in the Ameris Elabiti, but it only can be said those that kedusha while it's in the Tivor. The Yishlachos of the Rebbe should be concerned about his words. V'lizar l'shiyachad yomen b'nigan v'tamim kakar v'tar should say with a single person should say and to be careful that a single person should say with a singing voice and cantillations like someone who's reading the Torah. It's like it should be as if you're reading the Torah, however you would do that. Ukavar pasha the minhag sorry spread out the minhag as far as Rishon, like the first opinion b'yachad Omer also and the single person does say it. Ukishaonem kedusha zos and when they're answering this kedusha Omer also b'kol ram they say it with a loud voice when they're responding this. This is when they goes Maimoni min nusach atfilos. in the language of the tefillos. Medalgan, they would skip it. Rak on yomer v'omer be rather just they say v'omer beira kadosh. So that's how they would skip it. They say in their fear kadosh. So they have to finish the topic, but they don't have to say the whole topic. Just say kadosh. V'omer baruch, and they would say baruch, but they wouldn't say the whole baruch. Yeah. Because of the Free Kaddish says, Afilim haya yachid mispalim, for a single person praying, levad alone, b'shvil sha'afer levoka, because he's delayed to come, he's late. Given the ikat tibur, since there is a congregation there, omer afilu b'lachos l'kulyam, then you would say it even quietly, according to everyone. You won't have to worry about it because there is a tibur there. Pasha the minhag is spread out, and the berura, this is from, Misdalad is from that was from the Magen, around. Pasha the minhag is spread, and the berura explains, this is like you say it. His given halacha das achroni includes for the halacha like the later opinion. And lefisha in laws minhaga, since there isn't to move from a minhag. Nachal nahader him omer biyacha zeimor benigan atam. It's proper that to go after that if you're saying about as a single person to say with a song and cantillation, it's part of psukim like reading psukim. The same cause of Pri Megadim, and similarly the Pri Megadim writes to have the Shem Lavosh and then Rosh Tov Lahadim, because it's good to go after this way and to say it as if you're reading with the Torah. When they answer Kedusha Zu, Im Afshir Tovim Yushuv, it's possible, it's better to say it while you're sitting down. This is Ein Berhetiv, look at the Berhetiv. The Kol Ram with a loud voice. Dafka B'tzibur, it's only in the congregation. Abul B'yachid, Omer B'lachish, but a single person should not say it loud, should say it quietly. Kain Kazav V'deli Rabbis, V'deli Rabbi writes, Abul B'shari Tshuva Kazav, Shenka Peda Af B'yachid, V'meomer B'chol Ram, there's no, the Rabbi says, we're not marked, but if even by a single person, if he says it loud. Okay. Daled. Okay. Berachos Yotzer V'Aravis. Berachos Yotzer in Marib. Omer Mishlo Yosib. We should say that with him. Mishlo Yosib Menachas. Very quietly. Okay. The Yimayla time Hagavi Yimayla time Kodem Shisam B'Stil Tibur should be quick to conclude before the Stil Tibur concludes. Beyond the main after Stil Tibur, the same main after the Stil Tibur finishes his bracha. This is from there goes Maimoni, Paragalov, Mihalkas Brachos, Rokeas, Simon, Reshud Ches. Imlo Amarak Shama Mesh Stil Tibur, if he didn't say it, but he just heard from Stil Tibur, Yatu Biotu. Okay. The brachos elu are still tibur moti yachad. That these brachos are still tibur can be yot to the single person. Alpha pishu baki, even though he's a baki, so he could just hear it and it'll be okay. Amiyo ena still tibur moti yachad b'pachas miyod. However, the still tibur can't be yot to a single person if it's less than 10 people. This is from Rav Rabbeinu Yonah Pereng Mishmesu. Loyana may not after siyam habocher b'ma Yisrael b'yava. You shouldn't answer me after bocher b'ma Yisrael b'yava mishum dehave hefsek, because that's a hefsek. I only come with Simon Samachal. Berachos Yotzer. When in the whole brachos the Kriya Shema, similar thing with all brachos of Kriya Shema, you should say you say it with the Stil Tibur. Immer Stil Tibur with the Stil Tibur. The after Medina Yachol and Chavan that says the brachos Stil Tibur Afilu Abak. Even though Medina you're able to intend with to be Yotzer with the Stil Tibur, even if he's a Baki. Dafka b'tfila in a Stil Tibur moti as a Baki. It's only by prayer that a Stil Tibur can be Yotzer. A single person who's a Baki knows it. Look at the Lakam and Kuf Dalad. Mishum derachmininu, because it's prayer and therefore you can't be Yotzer someone. When every single person has to ask prayer, mercy for himself. Mikomakom Yeragel Lomer Imashil Tibur Benafa still it should be custom to say it with the Shil Tibur quietly. Shekivin Jahim Brachos Arucha since the very long Brachos in Adam Yachol Achav and Tadir Imashil Tibur Bishtika. A man is not able to intend with the Shil Tibur with quietly. This is from the Beis Yosef. Vayom Enogim Lizar Lomer Dafka Benachat. Nowadays we don't have the custom to say it specifically quietly. I'm Vayin Berlacha, look at the Berlacha. Call them, you should say it first. The Me'emza also line us the main because you should make sure to finish first and then say Amen. Because if it's in the middle of it, it's also to answer Amen. Shin is Barber Simon and Samachov is clear and Samachov. Beyond the Amen and say Amen. Baruch Hu B'Shemo, but saying Baruch Hu B'Shemo, this is from the Acharonim. Lo Yomer, then you can't say that. Even by Pesukah Zimra, you can't say Baruch Hu B'Shemo. No commotion causes Magan Avram B'Simin the Kaf Kaf Dalet, as clear in the Magan Avram B'Simin Kaf Kaf Dalet. After Shliach Tibur, you should answer after Shliach Tibur Main. Who was in him Shama Sof Bracha Miyad the Machar? Similarly, it's heard the end of a bracha from a different person. This one the Pri Magan the Simin and alef. Okay. Vein bracha zug vein bracha acheres with this bracha with another bracha, and you're there. You could say Amen. Shlomo Shliach Tibur, you heard it from the Shliach Tibur. Dafkim kivin let's say Shliach Tibur. It's only if he intends to be yotzi. Shliach Tibur miskaven the hotzi, and the Shliach Tibur intends to be yotzi other people because they'll be simin vav sivdal. And it says earlier in sim vav sivdal. Oh man, Elu, these. With these brachos, the shall kriya shema, but who was in the kol brachos, simply all brachos, so could leil b'simin, b'sof simin vav, at the end of simin vav, v'ayin sham, v'prichodesh, look there in the prichodesh, v'simin chas, v'sif hey, ayin sham machas l'shekel, look there in the machas l'shekel, v'artz l'chaim, v'simin reish yitas, sif hey, v'simin reish shariches, sif yadal. Levan mi brachos shall tefillah, aside from the brachos of prayer, the ein a shliach tzibur, motius a baki, that a shliach tzibur cannot be yotzi the baki, a baki in those cases. Until the kamar simin kaf dalet. Shu baki, that he is a baki. But vilu im yotzi kvar, even if he's already been yotzi moti, you can yotzi other people because he's a baki. I don't know, because whatever he is a ravis. I mean, even if he's a baki. Who could the kamar simin rate samatas? He said that later on in simin samatas. Okay. And who was in b'chol brachos similar with all brachos? Who could the kamman v'simin tov kaf behei? Says later on tov kaf behei v'simin tov reish tzadid beis over there. Levan brachos and then aside from brachos of enjoyment, the mishi yosem ein yachol to someone's yot to his own brach can be yot to someone else for those brachos. As for the other person, shum mechuyev adayim bebracha, which is already still obligated in the bracha, he can't be yot to the person. Who could the kamman v'simin reish give him a face. But feel a misha in a baki, even someone who's not a baki, he couldn't be yotzi with him with us. Hayachid, a single person. I feel a no baki, even if he's not a baki. This one the Magen Avraham and the Shem is Hamid Ben Yoneh. Still simba can't be yotzi a single person if it's less than 10. Okay. Mepaltas may serve less than 10. Mizel dafkalin in berachos kriya shema is only in regards to kriya shema. V'gam berachos the shachar and also the berachos of the morning of halavush machma berachos fine. Halavush machma berachos kriya shema. The lavush is machma by like berachos kriya shema, saying you can't say the berachos in the morning without 10. I'm beralacha, look at the beralacha. Avol shar brachos, other brachos, gam berachos and mitzvahs. For example, bracha for mitzvahs, the berachos and or enjoyment brachos. Afilu yachon moti as yachid a single person can be yotzi a single person. Oh my gosh. Okay. Afilu bakim for bachu. Afilu elbus and ches. After berachos and even by berachos and yesh kama chalukon, there's many divisions. The bracha rishona shal alechem, the first bracha on bread, v'yayin or on wine. The kuliyama Hadin Kamosha. The time the whole according to everyone's in it's like we wrote, because he used to base them in Kuf studies. The Gimel doesn't in Kuf was in the Palace. After Sorshi Yikbu and Atman is that in however he has to set himself up for this, the Hainu Shiyishvu Yakulan is that they should sit together, leaning in Birch time. You have to sit together and you can make the bracha for someone else if you're making the bracha for yourself. Leaning bracha is a mazon, guys bracha is a mazon. Rak shnayim bracha, if only two people lead, mitzvah l'chalek, it's a mitzvah to split up. The bracha left will have to have each one make a bracha for himself. Im lo she'afan, ain't a baki, if not, the one person isn't really a baki, doesn't know how to read the mention. Well, you don't see also a baki in the baki of yosim. Kadisa b'semin kaf tzadi, gimel zazin sev gong sev zilo, and sham l'ter. M'shai devar m'chutz mi pasi, I'm a lot of things aside from wine and bread. Bein bracha, Rishon, whether the first bracha mean bracha, corner whether the after bracha. Yesh deals ben a poskim. There's opinions among the poskim. Im echa yochalot yachver. One person can be yot to other person. Mukulakam some ratio gimel and Shlomo says later on some ratio gimel look there. That we have sikhet is split. Bein kriya shema the bracha, but whether between kriya shema and the bracha. Commotion also the hapsik thing. Kol davar mitzvah or hana, just like it's also to make a split between every mitzvah or hana. Shem baruch malav la bracha shalapanu. That whichever image or hana which you're making a bracha on to the bracha which is before you can't make a hefsek. I will bracha yotzor, but the bracha of yotzor gam hu moda the dina da armal is that he also agrees to the law like the armal like this. Imsim kolam shdil tib that it includes before the shdil tib or yishlam some main after you could say you should say a main afterwards and berura look at the berura. I'm a shield to which include within the shield team. I'm a shield look at the shield. I'm a tour me field to look at the base shield because of the same chuvas from Rosh. The says the name of the chuvas from Rosh. Tim Hayam Makabin the Divya the shield team was intending with the words of shield team Vashtika Behem to Bracha Hay Posik Libo point of Libo and in the middle of the Bracha he turned his heart to the Dvar Machem to other things. Hifsik Kavanos Hakavanon who loses the Kavana. Shehifsik Bam so Yisa then he made a split in between. Shekol Shu Somek al Shochan al Shliach Tzibur, anyone who's relying on the Shliach Tzibur, Tzarech L'Chavan Libel L'Kol Mashu, who only has to intend for whatever he's saying. Lo Yat Yafana Libel L'Dvar Mecher, and not turn his heart to other things. Shem Lo Kain, Lo Yatsa, that if not so, he's not going to be Yotza. However, Kishahu Kara B'Fib, but when he reads it with his mouth, Afim Kara B'Mektzas V'Lokavana Yotzi, then even if he reads it a little bit, without intent, he would still be Yotzi because he's saying it. And God needs a lot of in the female man the Kamala and the Shemek only that according to what we passed in listening is like responding. The Habit Kilo Imam if he said it really with his mouth. Okay, the Mukhul Brachos Daf Chaf Amabez is clear in Brachos Daf Chaf Amabez, the Toast of Masko to the Ashkahan and Toast of Mashkahan. So in Kain, Afilo Im Nachshav, even if you're going to consider it Masha the Emsa Pano Libel Lavaracha, he will deal with the Emsa. This then in the middle he turned his heart for other things. If you skip from the middle, my hobby, who cares? Well, because of a raz, the Rash says Brachos Berakama and Brachos in the first parak, who makes also the Simon Kafay Zayin, and brought in some of it in Simon Kafay Zayin, the Mishina, the deal like that if you change then he skips something, the Harbi, a lot in the middle of the Brachos, Rukas of the long Brachos, and the Yotzi, they wasn't still be Yotzi your obligation. Lomer Shem Mishanim Pemit Shatabu Chacham, he didn't say the law of anyone who changes the form which the Chacham set up. You go yot, it would not be yot to allokish and mishanim be yichasim and b'chasimas. It's only when you change it from the beginning or the end. Avol shar and also, but the rest of the language, any makav doesn't really matter. It's not going to destroy the bracha. Now, the teva should pair to a chacham b'hem except with the words with the chacham is specified. They go on masha amr bris v'torah v'malchus v'rach zamazim, for example, which then says the topic of bris, torah, and malchus and v'rach zamazim. They go on has-torah Yitzhak Ram, for example, mentioning Yitzhak Ram and malchus and the kingship, Ukriyas Yamsuf and splitting the sea, Umakas Bechoris and Makazos Be'emet Yot, and saying that Yemet Yot is important. Pokiyot and all stuff like this. Ve'en lomer the chashvin and masha be'emtza upon a libel of we can't say that it's considered whether he says it in the middle of it as if he turned his heart to other things. Kilu hifzig mamish b'fiv, as if he made a split in with his mouth. Mod the chashvin and kol brachos kilu am b'fiv, just like calculate each bracha as if he said it with his mouth through the thoughts. V'idaktik Bezek, it's out the Shona Rush Shehefsik, and you'll be medakik a little bit like this, the language which the Rush says that he hefsik made split. Ein Shamuk there, but this isn't really right. The first of all, the Dafilu hefsik mamish remsa brachot because even if you really made a real hefsik in the middle of the long brachot, Tana is in bar and so chaz levar. If the law is not very clear, you would have to go back and make a bracha. I'm Mishna Zadim, look at the Mishna Zadim, Klau Kafei. Okay, so the Bishlam steals the bracha. It makes sense in the beginning of the bracha, but so at the end of it, Shashama, the Acher, Shahotzi, that he heard from another person which took it out of his mouth. The Iskab, no, Tziyobazan, he's intending to be also that Nichaman, the Chashvinu, Legam, Ken Gilu, Hotziyobafif. It just makes sense with what that we can calculate it as if he himself said it with his mouth, because he's trying to get his thoughts to connect to that person. But this in the middle, he turned his heart to davar for another thing, and then came here about just thoughts in general. Even according to the person who holds the thoughts are like words. Who it's only when he thinks in his thoughts, a certain word shall or prayer. And stuff like this. Below here is the davar, not just general thinking of whatever matter. The in the Rush himself, that thinking is not like words. The Kavanas of Rush, and perhaps the intent of the Rush, he not Yotzi the best mitzvah, but he really is Yotzi. Okay, Masha could cause of a base similar to what the base Yotzi says, similar to the class of Shem Raj and then Rajra. Amash Amr Kores the Shema im Anshe Mishmar Liyotza, that someone who reads the Shema with Anshe Mishmar is not Yotzi, and it means not the best, but it doesn't mean no Yotzi. I ain't look there. But Nachas, you should say it quietly. I'm Mishnah Berura, look at Mishnah Berura, nearly the lower Rush Tavar Zeh. This the Rush didn't say this man Kim Bizmano except in his time. Shahaya Nogim Nadayan hole in the face the Berura of the Shtil Tibur, they were still had the minutes to be Yotzi with the Shtil Tibur. When Kumosha got to the grasses, okay, and who Shehechmir Allah, that's why he's macham about himself in the Shtil Tibur to say it with his mouth and with the Shtil Tibur. Chutzruch Lomer. So meaning this guy who's macham about himself to say it with his mouth with the Shtil Tibur, but you have to say it quietly. Shlo can be like a call not to raise his voice, but they should the kalkul with them share the share enough so much to mess up for this for other people. I show them the machav and the place which you're hearing are intending to be yotze. And berachos the Shtil Tibur with the intent of the Shtil Tibur. Gam after the mitam zet, maybe it's also possible because of this. Haya ma'il is time of brachos the land is the main is going to be quick to finish the bracha and to say main after Shtil Tibur after Shtil Tibur. Motion before Batur, as it's clear in the Torah. The fire shards in the Tibur in order they shouldn't separate himself from the Tibur, so he wants to be quick and finish before the Seal Tibur. Shatrichon the Kul and the Chafila Samim that they all need the Chafila to answer a main after Seal Tibur after Seal Tibur. The after the Kuba and it's possible it's even Ma'akiv. The Balam Hakal Yotze and Berachos without this not going to be able to with the Brachos of the Seal Tibur. Look what Shakasar Ben Yonas, the Ben Yonas says the Pag Misha Mesu. Uva b'simen zeh b'magen Abraham, Kvan the simen magen Abraham, so Kvan hey, Masha in came b'kayom, which is not same nowadays. Shenol g'shakol echad mevarach ha'atum b'yekos kriyashma. Everyone has the bracha. Now to say bracha kriyashma is not such a need to be quietly, but if you're quietly, if everyone else is trying to be yotze and you're saying it, you should say it quietly because you're going to say it and you're going to be running at the end. It's not going to be good. Bachas mitzvah with less than people. I'm Mishnah Berura Mashkas. I'm not in Berachos Hashach. And listen, look at the Mishnah where we said in regards to Berachos Hashach, Mishnah Lavosh that you have to have 10. The who besov seven vav this is Brown besov seven vav. Have you magen Abraham Sham specific cut near the yod? It's father and magen Moshe on yod. But magen Abraham besemen down the magen Abraham this seven cut hey polygalov. He argues on him over here. The cost of the lukuliyam v'shai brachos sheinu baki loba. Sorry, this is according to everyone and not baki doesn't need 10. Now, prima ganu sham cost of the afshazol avosh mari dafka b'baki. It's possible the mush is only talking about a baki. But afilu b'baki tama alav a prima ganu still in baki the time the same on him the prima ganu v'sim the fast. Minayin law lechalik zam berachos mitzvos. How does he know to make this different than the berachos mitzvos? The karmelan the mishi yotza motzi that one is yotza could be motzi someone else. Below by a third doesn't need 10. Ein Sham, look there. I'm a Chayodam, look at the Chayodam, Klas, the Stam, Kedaver Halabosh, and Kedaver Halabosh, and Stam, like the words of Halabosh. Mashmin made the Halabosh, Machmer, Kol Gavin, it's master from him that the Halabosh is Machmer in every case. The Emes, Kain, Mashvil, Halabosh, the Seven and Tas, Teftalit, Ein Sham, Gan Kain Tam, Lizeh. Look also over there for the reading for this. The Layana made, you shouldn't say main. After saying Mokher Ma Yisrael Be'ava before Shema, Mechor Nu Cholomer, in the Mechor you could say the commandments of Beis Yosef, the intent of Beis Yosef, who dafim who mispal b'shava imer shtil tzibur. It's only if he's praying equal with the shtil tzibur. More than who mispal b'yachid, the same thing if he's praying alone. Balafuk miyosim hanogim lanas tamid amein achar bocher, and he's coming to exclude those people who always say amein after saying a bocher. Emotional is good with over some natzafalaf, as these people are mentioned in the Torah and some natzafalaf. Both in this way. Gam after Birchas Yotzor ain't Lanas. Even after Birchas Yotzor, you shouldn't say it. You shouldn't answer. Davi only a main after Asmo, that's considered saying a main after your own bracha. Avolim siyam kodem shtil tzibur, but if you conclude before the shtil tzibur, if you will after Birchas Avoka, even after Birchas Avoka, tzarach lanas, then you would have to say a main after shtil tzibur after shtil tzibur's bracha. But with that, Muzel lo chashinu and a hefsek, with this we're not concerned about a hefsek. Chayno, l'chein yira, that seems to be right. Shehavin Cain and Birchas Yosef. Similarly, that's how it appears the word was understood the Birchas Yosef. And Shari Chuva and then Shari Chuva. Okay, Mashma Katas, Beis Yosef, and we're telling us from Mashma a little bit in the Beis Yosef. And so Divya Maskal Mashma, and the end of Divya Maskal Mashma, Shem Saim, Sham Vedas, and Ramah, that includes there in the word and opinion of the Ramah. Okay. And the Kavanah Samah, Bezeh, Bemash, Siyam, and the content of the Ramah, what he includes Ayin, but Ayin, and look, okay. This is what he says over there. That feel be a fili lo hashin lahafsik with that. Even by the single person, we're not concerned about a hafsik by this. Avo yoshin afal nemar, but it's better to say midastam beis yosef. That's how you read the Drei Ramah. It means when it says when he concludes v'ayin, okay, v'ayin the comma is there. Yeah. That means you get from there, but much from the field b'chidi lo hashin lahafsik with that. We're not even by a single person, we're not concerned about a hafsik. Okay, so really, if you're concluding with the chazan, then you shouldn't do it. Or you're saying it, don't answer off your own bracha. But if you hear the chazan and you've already finished, you should say it. And we don't care about the split. Abu Yosef not on him, but it'd be better to say, in the Stam Beis Yosef, the Shulchan Aruch, and the fact that Beis Yosef is Stam, and it just says it in general, and the Shulchan Aruch, Shtil Tibur Loyan, Lahodish the Daitum Shalok Arma, to show that his opinion is not like Arma, like the Divrei Rabbeinu Yona, the Pashtan, like the words, rather the words are only the words are like the Rabbeinu Yona, like simple. The Hafilu Siyam HaBocher Bakodim Mishtel Tibur, if you finish Bocher B'Mayisol before Shtil Tibur, Loyan and Mishon Semea Al Shtil Tibur Mishon Hepzik. You shouldn't answer for the Shtil Tibur because of a Hepzik, because there is Rishon Shalom Beis Yosef, like the first answer the Beis Yosef, I am Sham. Zayin Shach Rach Berachas HaBocher is only applicable by the bracha of Bocher. After Yotzar Mors, but after Yotzar Mors, Yishlam, and then you could answer me. And B'diavad and Siyam told them Shtil Tibur, B'diavad you concluded before the Shtil Tibur, to answer Amen again. Abu L'chachila Tzarech L'sayim B'shavim Shtil Tibur L'chatchila, you should finish equal with the Shtil Tibur, because you start on and you shouldn't have to answer Amen by even Yotzar. L'chein Sofer Beis Yosef, similar, or I'm not sure if he's talking about Yotzar, maybe he means L'chachila. This is the opinion of the Beis Yosef. I am Sham, look there. Zekadash Ramah Pol Be'azan, this is the opinion of the Ramah here in the Agaf. Zerash Ramah, this is what the Ramah is saying the ayin. Doesn't mean like before, then it means it doesn't matter the half six. I knew the Norgan and Kolkadas the Rosh, everyone including he has the opinion like the Rosh will sign out, but Berachas Avra, but to include even Berachas Avra, Makonosh Til Tibur, Ulanas Afra Main, and to answer after it a main. Okay, Moshe Kansa Berachas Dark Moshe said in the dark Moshe. V'chein Masha Be'agran, someone's passing about the grass. So then the Ramah says we have the minute to finish before. The low kedas better. So meaning the Shulchan Aruch is not like the Dash the Ramah. The Ramah says we have the minute like the Rosh, which is included before, and say Amen. Okay. The Kamosha goes to the Kamosha said in the Kamosha. Okay, Master and the Ground, Simmons Master and Ground, we are saying like the second explanation that the Shulchan Aruch says finish with the Chazan and don't say Amen. And fine, and you right. Because of it, She comes to Mr. Kanye and Bain says in Sefani Vase, Sham Hasa Kadas, the Rosh, very passing the Rosh Rama. Mashman Das and Beit Yosef, the Shochanar, Mashman that the opinion of the Shochanar and is the Chalik, Gamal Rama is to argue even on the Rama. Lefian is Saiti, and according to my humble opinion, Beit Yosef, Ancient Raya, she used to work the Atzmok Rama, there's no Raya that he would hold himself like the Rama. Raksha maybe Raya Mimenu Lazvar, which is bringing a proof to his words. Mishamra Beit Yosef, the Yosef Tov Shisayim B'Shava, let's say see there, cool. Just bring a proof to his words that there is such a thing. And he's holding the Beis Yosef that it's better that it should include equally, let's say today called Yosef with all the opinions. This will destroy, this will remove the tame of the Shari Tshuva to one who delves into it and thinks about it. So, okay, so the Gra says we pass on like the Rosh and the Ramah, which means that as much the Beis Yosef is not holding like the Ramah and saying a different thing than the Ramah and saying that you should say equal to it. And then the berura comes in and says his own opinion that he says, I don't think the Beis Yosef there's no right that he holds like the Ramah. Just brings a proof from him, and really he himself holds from the Beis Yosef. There's no right in the Beis Yosef just holding there is a Ramah, and therefore better to say it's equal with everyone to not get into this question. And just conclude with the Chazal.